elephant in the room of I want to be able to control certain financial factors. I don't think they're looking at the holistic more than the financial. So the resistance is how can I, as a corporation, be able to maintain financial authority over this cannabis? Some of us understand the holistic part, but the financial factors are weighing in, and I think that's why people are reluctant to move into I want to be very careful with my words, into making it much more available and holistically available outside of dispensaries, or that there's financial factors. So I want to be really careful with what I'm saying, because I love everybody and what they're doing. So I don't want to, I just feel the resistance is financial more than it is.
Well, I appreciate, I appreciate your being careful.
Yeah.
I'm not careful at all, but we'll leave that to the side.
I'll let,
Maria,
we're living in a post-capitalist society now. It's money, but we keep hearing about safety. It's the guise of safety that we need to make things safe. So they regulate the hell out of it. We put it in dispensaries, but we all know there's a ton of illegal dispensaries out there. How are they keeping it safe? They're testing the weed? Well, LA Times came out with a big article on pesticides. None of it's keeping it safe. Education is where we need to go. If you want it to be safe, if we're all educated, then we're all going to be able to look at and see, well, why would we choose this if we know that this was grown regeneratively, this was grown, with some mindfulness behind it. But money talks, and this is now an industry. It was a culture, it was communities still here, but it is an industry. And once that happens, you see all the effects of that.
Industrial laws fall into place. What are your thoughts, Stephen?
Resistance of weed. Yeah, I would say that it's about definitely a control of how it can be used. It's definitely who can use it and how you can use it. It's a miracle plant, really. There's so many uses for cannabis making not only medicine, but textiles and
so don't
and
you think
fuel
that sort of triggered its doom? If I should be so gloomy.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you can grow your own medicine, who's profiting?
Yes.
Oh, that's really
or your own fuel.
Very true.
So there's a lot of things it can be used for, and that it can really disrupts the money flow of a lot of different industries.
There's a lot of stigmas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history of stigma to break through.
Yeah.
I'll get right back to you. Stigma. What do you think she's talking about?
So we go back to culture a little bit, and we go back to, if I were to help my fellow man, would I be able to profit off of that? So it's keeping, the big man in, or, that person is getting a high. So there's this label, this stigma, it goes in so many directions. My son, for instance, the doctors really felt there was a stigma with me using cannabis for his chemo treatments. What was it? My son would be high. And anyway, there's this part of our society that they feel if they can tell us and create that stigma at the same time, they can profit off of that as well. So that I just see it in a lot of different ways. They play off all of it, actually. They create stigmas for us, basically.
So, Maria, what was your... What were you thinking of when you mentioned stigma?
Historic stigmas, things that have isolated certain groups of people. It's created so much otherness. I'm not one of those people. that stereotypes, and an older generation kind of coming to terms with just breaking through perspective. There's a lot of things. There's cultural, ethnic, cultural, just so many things over the years. This plant's been here for thousands of years, and only in the past 100 years to 150, I don't know, but when it started becoming more commercial and demonized. But it's always been a part of like the arts community, the medical community.
Well, I think what you said, education, Maria, you mentioned education, and on the Cannabis show that I host, we bring up education quite a bit because it seems that what you're doing, Sarah, has a big educational component.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's huge.
Itself is education. If we can take all our community who have a greater understanding of cannabis, of body work, and first perspective of illness or whatever they know around their family, and if we can bring that and make 1, 3, 4 different educational classes, come join them online, in person, we can change things. If you know better, we'll do better. And if I can share what I know, you can share what we can go back and forth and be a community of knowledge equipped people. And that's the point of Blooming Bus in my perspective. So,
I know that, Stephen, you've got to agree with me. That attitude that I'm hearing from you, Sarah, and I'm hearing from you, Maria, that's what's going to change things in the industry, and it's really been a pleasure speaking with you. Let me see what's up with the engineers.
we appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you.
So I want to again thank you each for taking a few minutes to speak with us and speak with KMUD.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry that it's so damn loud over there.
It's kind of fast.
Yeah, what am I thinking?